Clients of law centres for whom English isn't their first language have an even greater barrier to accessing justice.
When I receive a complex document, I do find that I sometimes struggle to understand what the document is trying to say.
If they don't speak any English or not sufficient English, then we're not in a position to help.
I was gone for 2 months and my parents didn't open any letters because they couldn't read it. I had to translate all of them and actually work with them throughout the whole vacation.
Morsap, shining a light on legal documentation. Legal advice centres are under pressure. More and more people are struggling to access justice. These are the facts, but let us take you through a story. Like almost 2% of people who live in the UK, Pedro and Sandra do not speak any English. They arrived to England from Venezuela and rely on their son to help them with translating any formal letters, but he's currently away. They have found that Google Translate doesn't cope well with legal jargon and complex sentence structure. Whilst at their local community group, Pedro and Sandra have seen a flyer for Morsap. Pedro visits the Morsap website, sees the option to select Spanish, and the site is translated so that he can understand it. As a first-time user, he is directed to sign up using a simple and accessible form. The terms and conditions are presented to him in his language in a clear and comprehensible way. One click takes Pedro to the area where he can upload a scan or photo of his letter and select the service he requires. He selects to translate the document from English to Spanish. Once the upload is complete, he will wait for confirmation that his job has been picked up and will be given an estimated timescale for completion. Maria is a Spanish-speaking trainee solicitor who hasn't been able to commit to pro bono work since starting her training contract due to her workload in the office. Maria has recently signed up to a service called Morsap, which allows lawyers or law students to offer pro bono services in a flexible manner. It also means she can utilise her language skills. Maria signs up to the site and logs her language capabilities and the number of pages she has time to translate. Maria is then presented with up to 3 jobs that match the criteria she has set. Maria's translation must be completed within 7 days, or it will be moved back into the available jobs list. Maria picks up Pedro's document and carries out the translation on an inbuilt text editor, which she is able to view alongside the original document. For Pedro's peace of mind, Maria will not be able to download the document from the site. Maria marks the translation as complete, and we thank her for her contribution with a prize. Pedro receives a message through his preferred channel, email or SMS, to say that his translation is ready for collection. Morsap has helped Pedro, but what about those with special needs or other impairments?
Due to being dyslexic, I find that there's a lot of words in these documents that I don't know what they mean. When I don't understand a word or understand what the document is trying to say to me, I do try and ask someone that's around me, but obviously that's not always an option. I do believe that I would really benefit from an online platform that could help me work out what these words mean and put these documents in more simple English for me.
Morsap is able to offer translations from complicated legalese to plain English. The site has been designed to make it as accessible as possible. Pedro and Laura's stories provide real-life examples of some of the problems faced by members of our community. We are excited about Morsap and its potential to help. Our excitement is shared by those that work pro bono. Our research shows that Morsap is a unique solution to improving access to justice, yet, however compelling, rollout and scale-up need to be managed carefully. Interviews with 14 people and a survey of more shows us that law students and lawyers of all seniority form a ready supply of willing translation volunteers, and the need for the service is pressing. We will launch with 4 pilot languages: Bengali, Urdu, Arabic and Spanish, which are spoken by communities in some of the most deprived areas of the UK. Scale-up tactics include increasing the number of languages offered for translation for wider appeal, tie-ups with legal advice centres, and rollout through city law firms' pro bono initiatives. We also intend on building in an audio function which will read text aloud to help individuals with limited to no literacy skills and those who may be visually impaired or otherwise struggle with reading. Our business plan estimates year 1 startup costs of £100,000, which factors in audio accessibility. with a Year 2 cost falling to approximately £40,000, with further developments planned thereafter. All but the data storage and web hosting costs could be borne by donation of time and expertise, rather than capital. Morsap is not a revenue-generating product. It is one of sponsorship, donations and government grants.
We are Morsap.